Blog Talk Radio.
Good afternoon, and thank you so much for tuning in to Escape to the Finger Lakes. This is your host, Christina, from Finger Lakes Wine Country, and we have a special edition of the show today featuring everything you need to know about Hammondsport, New York, and why it is indeed America's coolest small town. So with me is my resident expert on Hammondsport, Brett Steves, the president of the Hammondsport Chamber of Commerce. Hi, Brett.
Hi, Christina. How are you today?
I'm doing really great. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Good. Yeah, the sun is shining. It's a beautiful day in the Finger Lakes. We've been spoiled with nice weather this winter thus far, so can't complain.
That's true.
That's
true.
So now, as we know, and we've been pushing this out all weekend, Hammondsport was chosen as a top 10 contender for America's Coolest Small Towns by Budget Travel magazine. If you haven't, I don't know where you've been. If you don't know this, if you're a fan or someone who lives in the Finger Lakes, you know that we worked really hard this fall to get Hammondsport and other towns like Penn Yan and Naples in the Finger Lakes voted for to be a contender in this contest through Budget Travel. So lo and behold, Hammondsport was chosen as one of the top 10 by the editors at Budget Travel magazine. It was just announced on Friday, and now we're in the big push to get everyone to vote and show your love for Hammondsport so Hammondsport can be number one in this great contest. So we have now begun all of the information, getting all the information pushed out to get everyone to vote. You can vote once a day. You can go to fingerlakeswinecountry.com. We have a link right on our homepage where to go to vote. I'm sure budgettravel.com has a link. If you just scroll down to find the coolest small towns in America, you can vote there. And if you follow me on Twitter at FingerLakesPR, I've been pushing that link out pretty steadily. So those are some good ways to get to that, where you can vote. And again, you can vote every 24 hours. So with that, we wanted to take some time and talk about Hammondsport, why Hammondsport is cool, and why it deserves this great honor. So, Brett, I think that being number one, the president of a Chamber of Commerce for a town, you obviously have to really believe and love who you're representing. So why don't you tell me your Hammondsport story? Because I realize that you were not born and raised there, but you've chosen to move there. So take it away.
Yes, well, we fell in love with Hammondsport back in the 80s, and we had a young family at that point, so we did not want to uproot them at that stage, and we just planned on coming here as soon as we could. So as soon as the kids were out of high school, we ran away, and we left them where they are.
Yeah.
we do go visit them, but they're far enough away they can't just come on the weekends.
Okay.
And but we came here because it's time just slows down here. We call it lake time. So it's just sort of a completely different pace than people endure in their daily lives elsewhere. For example, my drive to work involves 9 miles with a lake on one side and no stoplights or traffic to deal with, and I get here stress-free. So. Yeah,
there you go. That has to be probably one of the biggest benefits.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Other than that, the quaint nature, I think, reminds us, and I think the people that visit here, it reminds us that places like this still exist. So
yeah,
it
is amazing, and it is almost a step back in time, but in a modern way. Like, it's not. I guess it's just an interesting place to go and relax and really take in the finer things in life and just be able to really appreciate what we have. And it's one of the quintessential lake towns. It certainly has lots to offer visitors and residents alike. And now, you not only chose to move here, but you chose to open a business here. Tell us a little bit about your business.
Well, we opened what was originally an art studio and school right in the middle of town, and it evolved. It's evolved since then, and now it's a gallery, as well as a studio and school. And it's one of two major art galleries in town, and there's several other places that feature art. But we felt like the art scene here was just waiting to explode. So we decided that's what we ought to do, especially since I'm an artist. So.
There you go. It fits perfectly.
And that's right. Create a niche and fill it. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. That's wonderful. It is, I think, one of the benefits to the Finger Lakes region is the art scene. It's really developing and becoming this amazing, I guess it's a niche in the area that there's lots to see and do, many galleries, and just some great art history even to take advantage of when you're visiting. Now, as far as your business goes, are you located in downtown Hammondsport, or are you up on the lake?
Well, we're right off the village square, which, of course, is a beautiful square. It's got a 120-year-old bandstand in it, things like this. But, we're right off the square. So that's very nice. It's not a large business district, and it's very comfortable to walk through. And as you were saying before, you can experience just about anything you want, from a very quaint, slow-paced visit to high-end dining and art galleries and such. So
absolutely,
it does. It offers the gamut.
It does offer the gamut, and not only within, that downtown Village Square area, but you can drive up the lake and visit some world-class wineries. For instance, Dr. Frank's Vinifera Wine Cellars is just a couple miles up the lake in Hammondsport, and it is celebrating 50 years this year of world-class winemaking. And so, from Dr. Frank's to Heron Hill, Ravine's Wine Cellars, Pleasant Valley, Bully Hill, and Keuka Lake Vineyards, and everything in between. I know that I missed somebody, but, there's really plenty. Amazing wine just in the town of Hammondsport alone.
True enough. Limeberry is also one of the new wineries in town, also an art gallery and winery. Dr. Frank happens to be part of our terrific history here. He's actually credited with elevating New York's wine industry from a state of sort of mediocrity to a level that commands world attention. So we're glad to have that. Speaking of history, we've got Glenn Curtis.
Right, of course.
Glenn Curtis, the aviation pioneer. There's often arguments from those tourists who might come from the Carolinas, but I think most importantly, he was the naval aviation pioneer, having showed the Navy how to use airplanes. So we've got some terrific history there. The museum is incredible.
It really is incredible. It's one of the hidden gems, I think. Many people who visit, they've been to Hammondsport, they've been to the wineries, they've been maybe to even some of the breweries, which is another aspect of the town. But the museum is really someplace that's a great place to start, because not only do they have this great history of, Glenn Curtis and his inventions and everything, but they have some great history on the region as well, specifically their exhibit on the wine industry I found really interesting. I wasn't even aware that it was there until I'd say within the past 2 years, and I've been working in the industry going on 5. So it's very exciting to see that history and really introduce yourself as you're coming into the region. I know that Bully Hill also has a great exhibit, as well as Pleasant Valley has some great relics of, just the history of winemaking and the history of the region in general.
Absolutely, and Pleasant Valley was the first bonded winery in the nation.
Yeah,
they've got some very old stuff there.
Absolutely, we got some old stuff. We have some new stuff too, of course. With some of the newer galleries, you mentioned Limeberry. It sounds like you're within, that 5 to 6 year, new as well for your studio and gallery. Right. So, some new restaurants. We have, the older restaurants like the Village Tavern, which has some great history. It's, has it has one of the most amazing wine lists I've ever seen.
Absolutely. And beer. They have a huge beer
list
as well. Yeah.
They do have an extensive beer list from all around the world.
They do.
But then you have new restaurants like Union Block, great cafe and bistro there. And, I'm thinking the Blue Heron Cafe at Heron Hill Winery during the summers. It's a great place to go and enjoy a gorgeous view out on the terrace. There's just so many things to see and do in the region.
There are. It's incredible. And there's actually, we're starting to embrace a little bit more of the history than you might expect. There are some trails you can take to see who did what and where in and around Hammondsport. So, the whole region is just rife with it. You could stretching down into Corning and beyond. There's museums and art and everything. Just
absolutely. And you mentioned going beyond Hammondsport. We should talk about the fact that Hammondsport is the only town in New York State that has been nominated as one of the coolest small towns in America. And I think that we have to remember that while Hammondsport has been chosen and is certainly a centerpiece for this great honor, that a vote for Hammondsport is a vote for the Finger Lakes, and it's a vote for New York State. We have some of the most amazing small towns in the Finger Lakes region, just really overwhelmed with some amazing wine, food, art, culture, everything, and history that really, Hammondsport, while it may be the one on the stage right now, it is actually a great representation of Finger Lakes wine country and all the small towns that make it up. And we're really proud of the small towns that we have in the region and everything we're able to offer them.
Oh, yes. You could spend countless days and weeks in the region and still not cover everything there is to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the area. Not to mention fall colors, the weddings that go on around the lake. Keuka Lake is termed the Lady of the Lake, one of the more beautiful ones, so they say. But they're all beautiful. But it's just a great place for bicycling, motorcycling, running. It's just a terrific place. We're quite proud of it.
It is quite gorgeous. In fact, Budget Travel, speaking of being the coolest small town in America, we also were named this time last year, we were named the most beautiful wine region in the world by Budget Travel. So we do have some good history with Budget Travel readers and getting that good vote out there. So hopefully that's just a taste of what's to come. But knowing that the coolest small towns, that we're home of the coolest small towns in America, that we're the most beautiful wine region in the world, it really goes to show you that we have some of the most amazing things for visitors and residents alike.
Great destination as well as a place to live.
Yes, exactly.
We have, I think the most common phrase we hear in town, in the chamber as well as in all the stores, is there's always something going on. So
it's true.
We have art events and music in the park all summer long, and art shows and craft shows. We just introduced last year a storytelling festival, an annual storytelling festival, which took off with tremendous success for its first year. And that happens every September. And, of course, our Christmas in the Park is a great celebration. There's always something going on.
There really is always something going on. And for information on events that are taking place throughout the region, you can visit fingerlakeswinecountry.com. We have an extensive database of events. I'm sure Hammondsportchamber.org, or it's Hammondsport.org, right?
Hammondsport.org, that's right.
Hammondsport.org has information on events and accommodations within the Hammondsport area, but I know CorningFingerLakes.com has information as well on packages and like some getaways and everything, and good ideas to visit Hammondsport and the Corning and the area of the Finger Lakes, but fingerlakeswinecountry.com. We have a trip builder on our website. You can go in and actually choose where you want to stay, choose what kind of restaurants you want to visit, and choose wineries and art galleries and everything else that you want to include on your trip to the region. So some great tools there. But other than that, we just want to remind you that we have until January 31st to vote for Hammondsport for Coolest Small Town in America on budgettravel.com. And again, a vote for Hammondsport is a vote for the Finger Lakes and a vote for New York in general. We are so proud to have Hammondsport nominated, and we look forward with what's to come. And again, you can vote every 24 hours, so don't slack off. We're going to get there. So with that, Brett, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a very quick 15 minutes.
Yes, it has. Yeah. Can't believe it's over.
I know. I told you. So, yes, yeah. Again, everyone, get out there and vote. And if you do, again, want some further information on the region, you can visit fingerlakeswinecountry.com. So with that, we hope you have a great week. And again, vote for Hammondsport.